All right. So, welcome everybody who is here already, and then everybody in the future to What's Stopping Your Travel Dreams with Tara McCallam and Siris Rivas, and all the energies of the world that want us to expand and have even more fun in our lives.
So one of the things that we kind of wanted to open it up and we had talked about when we were getting ready for this, well, first, is everyone oriented, is familiar with Zoom, like how to interact with it? You can move on the bottom left and you can make comments on the chat. There's a button on the bottom for chat. And if at any point you want to stop your video but still listen, you can do stop video. That's right next to the mute button. So there's a lot of different flexibilities there. If at any point, if at any point the lines are getting a little like choppy or like we're not really able to hear things because we're hearing your background noise, we might mute you. So other than that, yeah, let's have some fun talking about travel. Hi, Martina. And so Tara, you were gonna say something? Sorry, I cut you off, sweetie.
Oh no, you're good. No, carry on.
So what do you already know that's been stopping your travel dreams? Let's start with that. What are some considerations or things that you kind of like, as soon as you think about maybe traveling, that come up for you?
I'm going to say something right away just to open it up, and because this popped yesterday, and when we started talking about promise and stuff, is I realized it's just this place of a dream. And it wasn't something that I was even looking at choosing in the near future. And so I wasn't willing to look at it as a possibility or a reality for me. And what things I might want to like maneuver around in order to make it possible. And so it's just that whole energy of like, oh, it's a dream somewhere off in the distant future. And to me, it's like, oh no, it could be my reality now if I just choose that and start making choices that fulfill it.
And we purposely chose it. We were debating, like, oh, should we say what's stopping your travel plans? What's stopping your travel realities? But it really is this dream idea. There's this a couple movies that say it, and a couple books too. That's like, one of the worst words in the world is someday, because it's almost like never. Like, oh, someday I will go this and this and this. Someday I will have this or choose this. And I think that's also tapping into what a lot of people do with travel too. It's like, well, someday I'll get to go to this place and travel here. And what if we could remove that from our vocabulary for at least these next 30 minutes, the someday, and actually kind of move that into a little bit closer into the next 10 seconds. What would it really look like and be like to actualize our travel dreams, to actually have all of that we would really like to have when it comes to travel. Eliza shared a bunch of things that she has going on. You're a great resource already. Thank you, Eliza. And so is there a particular type of travel or place or experience that you've already kind of said that it'll be someday over there, and put it kind of more over there? And are you willing to bring it a little bit closer right now? So some of the things that also come up, this dream idea, let's tap into that a little bit more and maybe do some clearing around that. When you sit with the energy of it being a dream, does that feel true for you? That if it's like, oh, let's consider a specific place you're thinking of that you'd like to travel to, or a particular experience, when you're like, oh, I'll have that someday, and you add the word someday, or I'll have that at, what's the other word we were saying, Tara? That was like someday, and there was another one that was kind of pushing it, that, oh, that's one of my travel dreams is to go blah, 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 and having it framed it in a dream. When you say it in that way, does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? A mix? Because what's true for you will feel light.
Yeah, it's interesting when you even put it that way. Like, when you're asked in the dream, do you see that coming into your reality? Like, does it seem like it's truth for you? And I guess my other question is, are you allowing it to be true for you? And so it's interesting because when you were talking about, you're like, I'll have that someday. And I'm like, well, you're already in the space of, I'm having it. You can't even go to that place because you're having
yeah, I'm like, no, like I say someday, but I'm not really tapping into the energy of someday, because for me everything's like, yes, yeah, I'm having it, like it's like, let's do this, and there's not really someday anymore in my vocabulary, but for y'all, I'm tapping into your energy, and I am getting the sense that the someday isn't as one of your realities. It's like a little bit more pushing it away. And so would you be willing to let that go and actually see what you could create and choose around travel, around any area of your life, to actualize and have what your travel dreams, and not be so much of a dream and it be more of a plan and a reality,
Awesome.
Wow, it's a lot of energy there.
Can I ask you, like, Eliza, I know you were speaking of the 3 different places. For you, are those dreams, or are you choosing them and having them?
Well, there's a difference in all of them. The beliefs part is kind of, I have to go. There's something there that requires me. And it's just for me to show up. And the Argentina thing is about tango. Like, I cannot learn that here in the Netherlands. I have to go to Buenos Aires to. And why not? Because it could be lots more fun. And Brazil, Amazon, I'd like to experience that.
So are you like making plans to have that happen, or is it still more ethereal? Like
in the abstract.
Getting closer by the day.
Say that again. It gets closer by the day?
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So here's the thing. I don't know if you noticed that how you were saying this.
Mm-hmm.
For the first 2 places, you said, I have to. And for the third one, you said, I would like to. And so even if they're all that you're choosing it and that you would like all of it, just to be paying attention to the language of that, since that's creating your point of view, creates your reality.
Mm-hmm.
And also sometimes when we say we have to, we're kind of not giving ourselves credit for what choice we're actually making there. So you're still, even if you go and it's you have the point of view it's a have to, you're still choosing that, right? It's not like, it's not this external thing that, and so I'm wondering if it's a have to, or if it's because energetically it doesn't match. So are you mean like, it's something's pulling you there, like you're like to those places and that's the have to, or is it like some external force that's like you're saying, someone else is telling you that you have to go, or some other energy there?
No, it's partly language, because English is my 3rd language.
Mm-hmm. How does it get any better than that? I love it.
Yeah, of the 5, and learning Portuguese and Spanish as we speak.
Pues podemos hablar en español si quiere. Qué bueno.
Yeah, well, I'll understand all of it someday, but not today yet.
Then the Puerto Rican Spanish is a whole different Spanish. That's another story.
Yeah, so I'm aware of the differences. So for now, it's okay if I can say my name and asking how are you and where's the toilet and where's the bus station.
Mm-hmm. The basics.
For now.
The basics.
Yeah, and the having to go is part of that, but. Well, Belize is a pool. I cannot not go. It's a requirement for me to be there.
Requirement from whose point of view?
From me.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making the demand of yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has a pull there, and she's connected to the earth and the energies.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is lovely, lovely. So the other thing
I asked Earth, where would you require me? Where do you require my body to be? Please. And the whole of South America. So
that's what I got when I went to New Zealand. So that's another question that we can ask. I really love that. I asked that question, and that's part of why I went to New Zealand right after there were 2 earthquakes there. I moved toward the earthquakes instead of away from them. Which other people, it's a very non-linear, non-cognitive choice. Yeah. But it was actually absolutely amazing and life-changing to go there. So what, if you were to ask yourselves, all of us, where would the earth like for you to go? Where would it be fun for you to contribute to the earth?
Yeah.
And you might not get an answer right away. Or you might get something, an awareness right away. It's just, you're asking not for an answer. Remember, we're asking for an awareness. So it might be a couple different places, which, then we'll ask some other questions after that. Like, what would it take? What would it take to go there? Because we all have these capacities to contribute and give to the earth. I mean, David, you toured the garden. You shared with me your garden yesterday and how beautiful that is, and your capacities with the earth. That's just one of many ways we can do that when we're gardening, when we're being in gratitude with the earth and things like that. And the earth is asking for our facilitation all the time. Are we willing to contribute it in a way that is different than what we've maybe chosen before? Right now, and as I'm asking that question about, where would it be fun for me to contribute to the earth? There's a couple of places coming that I was like,
really?
That it's like, oh, wait, hold up.
I mean, for real, only a couple?
I know. Surprise, shocking, I know. So that's a fun question to play around with. And then the other thing that we kind of were getting into, Eliza, is the language. Is there ever any concerns and factors around language that stop you from choosing to travel or choosing to go to a certain place?
Not for her.
Yeah. 5 languages and running, But that's definitely something that I've heard from other people. That language is a factor. Like, oh, I would love to go to Haiti, but I don't speak French. Or, oh, I would love to go to, Africa, but there's like 100 languages in one country in Africa. All these different things.
That's one of the good parts of being Dutch.
Speak more on that.
We learn different languages in school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my native language is Frisian, which is the local ethnicity around here. We have to learn Dutch in school, and from about age 10, we also learn English.
Mm-hmm.
And the education I chose, I had to take French and German. So the basics are there. And for my previous job, I was in Eastern Europe, like Romania and Hungary and all those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful places. And those are totally different languages. And with a basic of 5 languages, it's so easy to pick up the energy of a new language. So
that was exactly what I was going to get into, is that, one of my capacities that I kind of play around with is, I'm a speech language pathologist, but I've always had this affinity with languages. So even if I don't know how to speak it or haven't really been around it, like if you tap into the energy of what the person's saying, a lot of times you can communicate with them without actually knowing the language. So it's really cool that you chose really wisely, and that you were to be born in where you were born, and that you got to know that was a possibility early on, that you can play around with language, and that it might not be as much of an obstacle as with other people. But even, let's say, if you just speak one language, you can tap into the energy of the people that you're at and what they're saying. I mean, even for me, let's say, I'm in Australia and I'm in New Zealand, they speak English. I speak English. And there were definitely times where if I was focusing on what they were saying and not the energy of what they were saying, I would have been like, what? Wait, what? Because it's not just the accent. It's like the phrases, is a certain vocabulary, things like that. But after I stopped using my head so much, and just was like, all right, let me expand and let me really tap into the energy of what they're saying. It was just so much easier. It was just like flow. Okay, yeah. And there was so much more ease and just like laughter around the interactions.
Yeah, and there's body language. Every language has its own melody.
Yes.
There are facial expressions, so it's easy. And everywhere I go where I don't speak their language, I just speak Frisian. And I always get home in one piece.
So would you be willing to acknowledge your capacity with tapping into the energy of languages that maybe not everyone has? Okay. You say it's easy, and I agree with you out of choice and out of experience, but also acknowledge that that's not necessarily everyone's reality. Okay. And that's a really great, awesome capacity and gift that you have. That's really, really cool.
Just one of my capacities.
Nice.
Own it. Yeah.
Speak it, Eliza.
Yeah, I got my butt kicked this afternoon, so there's more to come.
Oh, okay. Watch out, world.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things that we're doing with this talk, and Tara, had this great idea to do this. We have the Travel Dreams group on Facebook that if you're not already a part of, please share with your friends, let people know, and join us in that. We do share a lot of resources on there, but then also to kind of talk about what's in the way a little bit before we start actually getting into the nitty gritty and sitting down and planning out, all of us at the same time, really all being on our computers or with our travel books and guidebooks or whatever materials you want to have, your canvases or whatever. Some people might end up painting, hint, Tara, while we're talking about our travel plans, and really creating them and choosing that. Ooh, and the passports and the images. I love that. Ooh, thank you. And really turning it into our reality that we're going to actually choose to travel, and what will our next travel trips, and what'll show up potentially when all of us are in that space of being willing to ask for it and create it and choose it.
Yeah, and the creation space is pretty awesome because we're all tapping into each other. So energetically we're tapping into each other, but also whoever chooses that class can ask questions, can ask for clearings, can ask, somebody might be on there that we're going to request that her mom gets on, who has this massive capacity of getting rental cars for $8 or plane trips across the United States for $40 or something. I don't even know. There's times where she has a trip and the whole week is $200. I'm okay, I will have all that.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to share with me, rock on, please share. But
yes, well, we also have a list of resources and websites to share with y'all, and different ways in which we have been able to travel for very little, if not no any money at all. And including what Tara was talking about with my mom, my mom and I both have won a lot of free trips. So when we're willing to receive it all in whatever way it shows up, let's see what shows up. Yes, who else? There's a couple other people we're probably going to have to grab and be all right, we're going to wrangle you in this. Now that my mom was just in 3 cities in the last 2 months, and she just came back on Friday, so we're going to give her a pause, and then all right, you get a day break, a day or two, and then we're going to jump on that. And it's on Monday, right, Tara?
It is, for 3 hours in the afternoon.
3 or 2? I think it's 2.
I just want to extend things.
You just want to keep playing.
I just added more events to my page. I'm those were 3 hours ones. This one's 2, yes. Who knows? I don't know what's happening, but yeah, 2. So
yes. So then there's we've talked about it making an abstract, the dream part of it being the someday over there instead of it being right here. of language. What about money? We haven't come up, really? Nobody's worried about money with travel? Not even a little bit, little bit. So that's the other thing that we'll be talking about too. It's a lot of people. Before I went, I've been traveling for about 4 months around the world and in the United States now. And a lot of people assumed, oh, Siris sold her condo. She has all this money. And so she's using all of that condo money to travel around the world. They assumed that all of this was money that I had like already ahead of time before choosing to travel. And I did it really linearly, really non-linearly, where I guess I did have a little bit of the money. But a lot of it was me creating and generating it and choosing things and tapping into different things as I was traveling and it showing up so that I could continue to travel. And not waiting for me to have all of this certain amount saved before choosing it. So actually choosing it first led to the money showing up more and more and more and me having more ease with that choice. So we'll be talking about ways of doing that and kind of being all out of order and shaking things up in a lot of the points of views we have around planning for our trips.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Martina, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
I'm a German girl, and I understand more than I can speak.
Sure.
Learn. And I go to more and more English Zooms to get more and more to tap in the energy. And it's the best example that I'm here and I understand very much, but I don't can ask any questions.
You're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
I do my very best.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for your contribution.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the first people that were really excited to join us, so I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah.
Martina, if need be, I can translate.
Ooh.
Oh, great.
Bam. I love it.
I hear it before. You speak 5 languages and only the was hast du eben gerade gesagt? Was sind die?
Ich habe Friesisch, Holländisch,
I love it.
Englisch, Deutsch und Französisch auch. Und ein bisschen Ungarn und Rumänien.
Ich finde es fantastisch. Was ich aber noch viel schöner finde, ist, was bei mir auch beim Englischen jetzt, vielleicht kannst du es aber was ich so toll finde, ist, dass je mehr wie man hört, umso mehr nimmt man die Energie wahr, so wie du eben schon gesagt hast.
Ja.
Du bist ja dann mein bestes Beispiel, wenn ich dann erstmal anfange zu reisen, dass ich dann auch, wenn ich die Basics verstehe, dann kann ich auch alles andere lernen.
Ja.
So now that we know a little bit more about your background, Martina, because I picked up on the energy of that, what's your question? You guys are going to geek out because we also don't have too much time left. We only have about 5 minutes left in this call. So now that we have a translator for you, thank you, Eliza. What would your question be? What are some of the things that have stopped your travel dreams?
Meine Frage wäre gar nicht mal mehr eine Frage, sondern eher, dass ich unterscheiden lerne oder zu unterscheiden lerne, die Frage nach den Reisen oder die Energie in die Reisen oder die Energie zum Geld. Vielleicht kannst du das besser übersetzen, Eliza. Ich höre dich nicht, du bist leise.
You're muted, Eliza. Yeah.
You're unmuted now.
No, I am. Das sind zwei Fragen für die Martina. Eine ist Geld und andere ist?
Nein, es geht darum, dass ja gerade die Frage gestellt wurde von Siris, dass es einmal die Energie gibt zum Geld für das Reisen oder einmal die Energie zum Reisen. So habe ich das verstanden. Ich habe ja nicht alles verstanden. Deswegen gehe ich ja auch zu vielen englischen Zooms.
Ich frage Siris.
Gut.
Can you translate it for us, Eliza?
When we spoke before about money, Martina's asking, do we ask for the energy of money or do we ask about the energy of travel?
What first?
Okay, what do you know?
I think
What would create more? What would create what you would like to create? Asking for the energy of money, which money is energy, or asking for the energy of travel?
I am money, but I am not the journeys.
So,
Uh-oh, we're freezing. We got a lot of energy on this one. Okay.
are you part of the earth?
Yes.
Okay. So, are the destinations a part of you?
Destinations?
Yeah, the place?
Ankunftspunkt. Sind die Orte, wohin du fahren wirst, sind die schon Unterteil von dich? Bist du das schon?
Nein. Das ist alles noch.
Die ganze Welt.
Ja, ich bin überall und nirgends.
Mm-hmm.
Can you call upon like what Eliza?
So that's why when we and it's freezing. Is it freezing for anyone else? A little bit.
It's doable.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, can you call upon the earth to pull you as well?
It's like totally cutting out. Sorry. I think I missed some of.
I think it's mainly. I think we lost Siris.
Mm-hmm.
Eliza, kannst du schon mal übersetzen die Frage, die Tara?
I'm here.
You're here. You're blacked out. I have a feeling the freezing is on your end, Siris. We can hear you though. Oh, there you are.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead, Martina.
Okay. Good. Okay. I'm listening.
I think, Tara, you wanted to ask Martina, can you ask Earth to show you where it desires you to be?
Yeah, well, and just have that communication, that pull, like that gifting and receiving of energy. Does she feel that already? Because she said that she was the earth, right? You understand me, Martina. You said you are the earth. And so are you able to like push and pull and like gift and receive that energy of what wants to like pull you there as well?
Der letzte Satz, kannst du den übersetzen, Eliza?
Ja. Wo sind die Stellen auf der Erde, die dir befragen? So für mich, ich habe die Erde gefragt, wo soll ich sein? Und bang, Belize. Was in dieselben Moment war es klar, Belize. Das ist mein erster Ort, wo ich sein sollte.
Mm-hmm.
Also
That was what your awareness told you, yeah.
Also so eine Frage habe ich noch nicht gestellt, werde ich aber machen.
Okay, she will ask that now.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the money too, so well, a lot of times we do these.
If you want me there, show me how it's done. Get me there.
Yeah. It's like, okay, what would it take? If you want me there, then, what would it take for me to be able to go there with ease? What would it take for that money to show up with ease? I've also been tapping into asking for cash instead of just for money.
Yeah.
Because money is really like, well, the energy behind money is a lot of it is paying for bills, but cash is very fluid. It's very exchangeable. It can just show up in all different ways, and there's a little bit of a lightness there. For me and for a lot of people I talk to with it. And then wealth is more like the things that you have that other people would want to pay you money for. Like if you have antiques, if you have artwork, if you have, certain silverware and things like that they would pay you money for. So you might choose to have those around so that if at any point that you could sell it and it would actually give you more money than what you paid for it, things like that. But if you're familiar with the energy pulls and expansion exercises, when you expand your being all the way to the size of a room and then to the size of the building and the size of the earth, and you're tapping into the earth, then you start pulling energy towards yourself, and that energy includes money. You can say energy pulling, and then turn it into the money. But here's the thing: when you do that, make sure to keep expanding, because a lot of times people say, "Oh yeah, I'll receive energy. As soon as they change it into money, they shut it down and they contract again. And if you really tap into and play with the idea of that money is energy and it's just another kind of energy.
And it doesn't have to be that way.
And really being willing to receive that at all times and pulling that toward you. Yeah. There's so many ways that it can show up. Mm-hmm. It's just playing with the energy of it, and then what? Go ahead, Alexa.
I once asked, what would it take to be in Budapest again? Because it's such a fun city to be in. And I spoke about it with a co-worker. I'd like to go to Budapest. And he said, yeah, me too. How cool would that be? That same week, the Dutch Airlines had a contest, and you could win tickets for plane tickets. So I thought it was funny, and I competed. And I told him about it. Have you seen there's a contest going on? And he won 2 tickets to Budapest.
Oh, doesn't get any better than that. I'm so
so many different ways.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is that you asking opened the door to that possibility. So, one of the things I would love to kind of leave this call on is
Frozen.
It's actually really awesome.
What could you ask for today that you haven't been willing to ask for that could open up a lot of them are not possible before, and so they don't even bother to ask. Right. Did you hear any of that? Did I freeze
Say
again?
It again, please. Say it again.
Oh my goodness. I have not had any issues here at all. Just today, you guys are some potent beings. Okay. I was just saying that, what could you ask for today that you related to travel or any other area of your life that could open up the possibility, the doorway to a possibility that you haven't considered. There's a lot of people go into conclusion and they say that they can't have it, and so they don't even bother to ask for it. And more, all the things that have shown up in my life, especially in the last couple of years, has really been from me being willing to be in the question and really see what would it take for it to show up, and what do I need to do or be to change this or be this or things like that. So really tapping into that.
And be careful what you wish for. Because for me, traveling is the act of being on an airplane or driving a car or sitting in a bus. What I really want is to be in Belize or where else.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And being really clear about that. So I would tweak that and be like, let's be really aware of what we're asking for and not necessarily be careful. And that just might be our language fun again, Eliza. Because the care has this like distractor implant kind of fear component to it. But just if you're aware of everything, then you'll be able to receive and perceive and sense everything with ease and just know where you're supposed to go and what question to be or ask at any given moment and get all that information. And so sometimes it'll show up in one way and then you just ask another question to reroute it or for something else to show up, including if, let's say, it is a plane, you've asked for travel, and the plane trip comes up, and that's not really what you want. Like, all right, how does it get any better than this? Or what would it take for this to be actually what I'd really like to have or really like to create?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not about the means of transportation. What I desire is to be in Belize or Budapest or wherever. And yes, it does involve airplanes and trains and buses and whatever. But asking for travel, to me, means asking to be in planes and buses and cars. And that's not really what I ask. What I really want is to be in wherever.
Yeah, and having that specific, like really being clear about what you'd like to have and asking for that, and not just travel in general. So really getting into that, because travel is going to mean different things to each of the people that we're going to be creating with.
Awesome. Well, we have our upcoming class on Monday. So if you guys would like to register and start creating these plans and choosing to have it, and walking into a space of who knows what else is possible. Like, what if you go into there saying, like, I'm definitely choosing a trip this year, and then you find out that you're able to take even more trips and that your life just expands from there. Because playing in these arenas really does that. Like, it just changes your reality. Who needs to dream anymore when your reality is better than dreams? You know, and anybody else that you want to share these calls with and these creation calls with, please do. If you think that they might benefit, or they're tired of dreaming about things and really want to start having it, ask them if they want to join us. The more energy, the more creation. How fun is that?
Yes, how many more people can we have fun with?
Right?
Geeking out around travel.
Awesome.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you in the creation call.
Thanks, and I'll send out the recording today, too. Thanks, everybody.
Danke mich.
Thanks all.
Bye.